evening. Welcome to PTV News Tonight. This past Monday, the president led relief efforts and ocular trips to General Santos City and Sarangani, where he saw up close the intensive damage from the June 8 killer quake. But the president also needed to see the quake's damage from another perspective, so he took to the skies to survey the extent of destruction from high above. As we hear more details from our Clazel Pardilia.
Tilted buildings, damaged roads, landslides, and the seawater that receded after the powerful earthquake. This was the scene during the aerial inspection conducted by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in the province of Sarangani and General Santos City. President Marcos also visited evacuation centers to check on the condition of the victims. He also checked schools, hospitals, bridges, and other areas severely affected by the earthquake. The chief executive assured the continued distribution of free food, clean water, and medicines to the disaster victims.
Kung ano pa yung nakita ninyo na pangangailangan, kung kaya natin dadalhin namin. Yung mga isolated na lugar, pipilitin natin makapunta. Yung mga ibang barangay na talagang walang madaanan, ay magpapalipad na lang muna tayo ng helicopter. Yung iba, kung pwede, kung kaya sa dagat, gagawin din namin yun. But whatever it takes.
MMR, whose house was destroyed by the earthquake and was yet to return to her livelihood, is deeply grateful for the assistance she received from the government.
Nung pumunta kami dito, marami silang mga serbisyo na in-offer. Minsan may mga food packs, may morning, may lunch, may dinner. Tapos minsan may activities sila doon sa mga bata. Nagpapasalamat din po ako, ma'am, sa serbisyong binibigay ng ating Pangulong BBM po kasi nga pinuprovide lahat.
President Marcos also distributed 13 ambulances to the province affected by the earthquake. The goal is to speed up the response to those in need of medical services following the disaster. They also received 19 satellite internet connections to ensure an effective line of communication.
Meron din manggaling sa Office of the President na we have put aside 278 million for the local governments who have been hit hard by the earthquake.
Another 50 million pesos will be released from the local government support fund for the repair of government buildings and hospitals in Alabel and Glan, Sarangani.
We're still recovering mga missing. Then of course we have to attend to the repair of the hospitals para maibalik natin yung pasyente, makapasok sila sa loob. And then of course DPWH, we have to do the assessment.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, has also begun distributing assistance for individuals in crisis situation, or AICS. The rollout of the Emergency Cash Transfer Program is also set to begin. This provides financial assistance ranges from 5,000 to 25,000 pesos for disaster victims. Meanwhile, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, will provide 30,000 pesos in assistance that beneficiaries can use to repair their damaged homes. The government will also deploy 500 modular shelter units to provide earthquake victims.
Iba-ibang pamilya, iba-ibang pangangailangan. So, kaya tayo nag-provide na ng cash na for that, for the rehabilitation and then as a cash assistance.
Clazel Pardilia for the Nation.
The leader of Europe's largest economy and the planet's third biggest is in the country to talk trade, defense cooperation, peace building, and bilateral issues of climate change, renewable energy, and cultural exchanges. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and his wife arrived today for a 3-day state visit and was feted with appropriate honors by the president, who expressed heartfelt thanks for the visit and for Germany's peace-building efforts in Mindanao, among others. The full report from our Kenneth Pasyente.
German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and his wife received a warm welcome from President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Marcos at the Malacanang grounds for the German leader's 3-day state visit to the country. In the bilateral meeting of the two leaders, issues faced by both Germany and the Philippines were discussed, including challenges to security and peace. Also discussed were defense, peace building, maritime cooperation, trade and investment, climate change, renewable energy, and people-to-people exchanges. Following this, a lease agreement was signed between Lipad Corporation and Lufthansa Technik Philippines, which is expected to further strengthen economic ties and the cooperation in the aviation sector. Under the agreement, the 157,000 square meter support, maintenance, and repair facility at Clark International Airport will be utilized and further developed. President Marcos Jr. also recognized Germany's role in peace and development in Mindanao, as well as in economic cooperation.
On economic cooperation, Germany remains a strong partner of the Philippines in terms of trade and investment, being the Philippines' biggest trading and investment partner in the EU, with a total bilateral trade at about $5.5 billion and net foreign direct investment amounting to $10.26 million in 2025. There are notable German companies present in our countries, including Siemens, Lufthansa Technik, Deutsche Bank, Bayer, and Bosch, amongst many others.
He also pointed out that Germany is an important partner of the country in terms of defense, particularly as it shares the commitment to uphold the rule of law and a rules-based international order.
I thank Germany specifically for consistently and publicly expressing its support for Philippine efforts to uphold the rule of law in South China Sea, including by calling on all parties to abide by the final and binding 2016 arbitral award. On maritime cooperation, we conveyed an appreciation for the partnership in modernizing the maritime and aviation capabilities of the Philippine Coast Guard.
He also recognized Germany's support for the free trade agreement between the Philippines and the European Union, as well as its support for OFWs working in Germany. He further noted the great potential of the partnership between Germany and the Philippines in the area of renewable energy. He said the Philippines also supports Germany's application to become a sectoral dialogue partner of ASEAN. The chief executive also said the Philippines is open to the possibility of a visiting forces agreement with Germany as part of expanding relations in defense and security.
Well, why not? We probably, in reality, we're still a long way off of that. But we are actually increasing our engagements especially in the military and in the defense and the security areas. And perhaps when the time comes, certainly that would be something that the Philippines will be very, very open to. I cannot see any disadvantage to that. With the volatility that is happening in the geopolitical world right now, the best path to stability is to have partnerships, is to have a wide base of alliances.
Before heading to Malacanang, President Steinmeier first laid a wreath at the Rizal Monument in Manila. This is the first visit of a German head of state to the Philippines since 1963. Kenneth Pasyente for the Nation.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has expressed optimism over the recently inked tentative deal or memorandum of understanding between the United States and Iran, which aims to end the conflict in the Middle East and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The president emphasized this agreement is a significant development for global economic stability, noting the preceding instability had caused severe economic hardship and price volatility. The chief executive stated his hope this deal will lead to a lasting peace.
We're hoping that this one is the one that will come true, and that we will start to once again bring our economies to a normal state and be able to support our people properly and without suffering the vagaries of price rises that come with such a petroleum crisis. So we hope, we pray that this is the case, that it is over, the war is over, and it will be a lasting peace.
The military's naval and air assets have been marshaled to provide logistical support for sustained relief efforts to southern Mindanao's quake-hit areas. All part of government's all-hands-on-deck approach in its humanitarian mission to the quake-stricken victims in southern Mindanao, which our Carlo Candelaria dwells on in this report.
The Philippine Coast Guard, together with various government agencies, continues its delivery of aid to residents affected by the recent earthquake in Mindanao. Using the air assets of the PCG, they conducted relief operations along with the Philippine Air Force and the DSWD, successfully delivering family food packs to Rio del Pilar, Glan, Sarangani. They also carried out relief operations at the provincial capital in Alabel, Sarangani. Meanwhile, 200 tons of relief goods are set to be shipped to the affected communities in General Santos City. This past weekend, 20,000 family food packs from the DSWD were loaded onto the Philippine Coast Guard's BRP Corregidor, along with bottled water, hygiene kits, food packs, rice, and other essential items from Senators Erwin Tulfo and Kiko Pangilinan and other partner organizations. The PRP Corregidor sailed yesterday from the pier in Manila, carrying the relief supplies to Gensan. Relief operations of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, remain relentless for those affected by the Mindanao earthquake. Every day, the DSWD's mobile kitchen distributes freshly cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the residents in the tent city in Glan, Sarangani. Most of the families staying here are those who cannot return to their homes yet due to the damage left by the recent disaster. The DSWD's mobile water treatment unit has also arrived in Glan, which will be used to produce clean drinking water. The distribution of family food packs continues in the barangays of Sarangani, Coronadal City, South Cotabato, Don Marcelino, Davao Occidental, and other affected areas in Mindanao. The continuous relief efforts of government agencies are in line with the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to deliver accessible and immediate aid to affected communities and to strengthen the government's response and support during times of calamity. Carlo Luis Candelaria for The Nation.
In the meantime, Senator Panfilo Lacson cast doubt on the questionable timing of a Supreme Court petition filed by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano's bloc, coming a day before the special session called by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. R.R. Tubise has more.
Senator Ping Lacson fired back at the group of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano after they filed a petition before the Supreme Court, or SC. Lacson said the timing of the petition is questionable because it was filed just one day before the special session called by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The special session aims to tackle several pending priority measures, including matters before the Commission on Appointments and the formal designation of Senator Sherwin Gatchalian as Senate President pro tempore and acting Senate President. Lacson also said Gatchalian's majority bloc is prepared for any possible move Cayetano may make during the special session. In their petition, Cayetano and his bloc asked the SC to issue a status quo ante order. It is noticeable that Senators Mark Villar and Joel Villanueva are not among the petitioners. They are asking the High Court to invalidate several actions, including the declaration that elective positions in the Senate were vacant, the designation of Gatchalian as leader, the designation of Senator Mig Zubiri as majority leader, and the replacement of Senate Secretary and Sergeant-at-Arms. They also asked the court to stop the Gatchalian bloc from exercising the positions and powers that stem from the June 3 proceedings. They are also asking the court to declare null and void the resolutions, appointments of committee chairpersons, and other actions that came from what they described as an invalid session. R.R. Tubise for The Nation.
Senate President pro tempore Sherwin Gatchalian and Blue Ribbon Committee Chairperson Senator Erwin Tulfo are exploring potential legal action against former Representative Mike Defensor. This for staging an unauthorized Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, which Gatchalian condemned as a deceptive attempt to mislead the public. Bernard Ferrer tells the full report.
The public is being misled. This was a statement made by Senate President pro tempore Sherwin Gatchalian in response to the alleged Blue Ribbon Committee hearing organized by former Representative Mike Defensor at an event venue in Mandaluyong.
Gumagawa siya ng confusion, no? Dahil doon sa post niya, Blue Ribbon hearing, hindi naman siya chairman, hindi naman siya member, hindi naman siya senador. Bakit niya linlin lang ang tao?
Gatchalian and Senator Erwin Tulfo, chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, are studying possible legal action against Defensor. The hearing called by Defensor is also being viewed as possible related to destabilization efforts. Tulfo said the gathering cannot be considered an official Blue Ribbon Committee hearing because it lacked. Tulfo said the gathering cannot be considered an official Blue Ribbon hearing because it lacked the required Senate personnel, including the Secretariat, recorders, and video documentation staff. According to him, it was merely a press conference or media forum. Tulfo emphasized that witnesses and allegations should be presented before the proper Senate forum so they can be officially recorded, thoroughly examined, and properly utilized in the committee's investigation. Meanwhile, Tulfo will inhibit himself from the Blue Ribbon Committee's investigation into the alleged anomalies in flood control projects. The senator said the move is intended to address calls for his inhibition and to assure the public that the committee's investigation will continue without question. Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan will lead the subcommittee that will handle the flood control projects issue. Tulfo also maintained that the Senate majority is not avoiding the investigation. Meanwhile, the Senate is prepared for the special session. Among the matters to be discussed are key bills and resolutions related to health, agriculture, and assistance for those affected by the earthquake in Mindanao. The Senate will also prioritize the confirmation of the nominations of 5 generals before the commission and appointments.
Importante na we approve all of these bills. Huwag natin sayangin in special session dahil this is an opportunity din sa atin na matapos yung mga nabindin. So yeah, that's why importante na yung mga senators natin maka-attend.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP and the Philippine National Police or PNP have also recommended the continued implementation of heightened security measures due to the security threats against the Senate. Bernard Ferrer for The Nation.
The country's migrant workers have received government's full support and timely response to their needs and urgent predicament without fail. The latest repatriated batch of distressed OFWs from a Middle East region in conflict is testament to government's holistic approach and prompt response to their calls for help. As we hear more from our Elijah Canlas.
Nearly 200 Filipinos from Kuwait have safely returned to the country through the whole-of-government repatriation efforts. Aboard Flight 5J31, our countrymen who experienced conflict in the Middle East landed at Naiya Terminal 3. From this total, 154 are overseas Filipino workers. Also safely returning are an infant, a senior citizen, and a pregnant woman. They were met by personnel from the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA to be brought to the Philippine Trade Training Center, which serves as the holding area for repatriated individuals. The agency provided them with food assistance and special financial assistance as part of post-repatriation support upon their return to the country. During their transit from Kuwait to Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Philippine Embassy immediately provided appropriate assistance to ensure a smooth journey. This operation was made possible through the Emergency Repatriation Fund and close coordination with the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA and the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW. The OFWs returning to the provinces were also placed in temporary accommodation while their domestic flight tickets were being arranged. Our countrymen expressed their gratitude for the safe process of their return to the Philippines.
Medyo nakakatuwa po at saka po talagang thankful po ko sa lahat ng tumulong sa amin, OWA, DMW po, sa simulat sa pula, sa lahat ng taong tumulong sa amin, maraming salamat po. Salamat din po sa cash assistance na binigay nyo, malaking tulong din po.
Meanwhile, several OFWs also shared their experiences regarding the tension and the quick action of the embassy overseas.
Kampante and very happy po na nandito na po sa Pinas. Documents, very smooth. The OWA and DMW helped us a lot there in embassy in Kuwait po, and Saudi. A week ago, bago kami umuwi, may pagsabog pa rin, may alarms pa rin na nangyayari. And then mga 2 days before kami umuwi, parang naging kalmado na rin po.
The government emphasized that nearly 11,000 OFWs and their families have been safely brought home since the conflict in the region began.
From then until now, halos 11,000 na ang nauwi ng ating mga kababayan. 6,060 ay galing sa OWA na repatriation fund natin, no, yung Emergency Repatriation Fund. Ang assistance na binibigay natin, aside from sinagot natin yung ticket to Manila, pati yung ticket sa probinsya, hotel accommodation doon at dito, of course, the meals, at syempre, financial assistance, no, para sa ating mga kababayan mula sa OWA.
The department remains hopeful for reports leading to the escalation and possible peaceful resolution to the conflict in the region. Elijah Canlas for The Nation.
Resigned Ateneo Blue Eagles men's basketball team coach Thomas Anthony Baldwin is in a state of extreme distress and grief over the tragic training camp episode which took the lives of his two prized recruits. His assistant coaches and staff are in no better shape as well, hence their inability to show up for their summons with the NBI to shed more light on the drowning incident, as our RR Tobise reports.
Several personalities continue to appear before the National Bureau of Investigation in connection with the investigation into the deaths of two Ateneo basketball players in Aurora. EJ Capihe, one of the members of the Ateneo men's basketball team, arrived at the NBI in response to the subpoena issued by the agency. Coach Tab Baldwin, however, did not appear. According to his lawyer, attorney Carl Justin David, Baldwin is not feeling well at all, but he is still scheduled to appear before the NBI on Friday. David said Baldwin is fully cooperating with the ongoing investigation. Attorney Pelagio Lawrence Quizon, the lawyer of Coach Reynaldo Jacinto, also arrived at the bureau.
Hindi pa siya ready kasi pinaprepare pa namin statement niya. Kasi para ma-recall niya lahat ng facts. He still feels very sad about what happened. It was not intentional, and for us, it's really an accident.
NBI Director Melvin Matibag earlier said the agency had subpoenaed several personalities connected to the team-building activity of the Ateneo basketball team, which both the deceased Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili were recruited to play for. Only the lawyer of Coach Sandro Soriano appeared. According to Soriano's lawyer, Attorney Raymond Rojas, his client is experiencing emotional distress. Soriano is scheduled to appear before the Bureau on Thursday. His lawyer maintained that Soriano is ready to face the investigation and will not leave the country. The NBI investigation remains in the fact-finding stage. The agency earlier said the autopsy reports on the two fatalities have been completed and is just completing interviews with witnesses and other persons connected to the incident. RR Tobise, for the Nation.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. reaffirmed that addressing corruption remains a top priority of his administration. The president stressed that funds lost to corruption directly affect social services that should benefit every Filipino citizen. He added that corruption also weakens the government's capacity to deliver programs and projects intended for the welfare of the public. President Marcos Jr. emphasized the need for broad reforms to dismantle abusive practices that have long been embedded in the bureaucracy.
It's not my money or your money or a company's money. It's the money from the people. And that is the worst sin of all, as far as I'm concerned. It's the worst form of corruption, as far as I'm concerned. And so, yes, there could not be a more serious subject in the discussions in my government right now.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, is hopeful the pending promotion of various military generals and junior officers will be resolved soon. This follows President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s decision to call a special session of Congress to address legislative backlogs, including pending nominations in the Commission on Appointments after recent leadership issues that caused Senate gridlock. Despite the delays, AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla assured the public that the military remains business as usual, emphasizing the units led by these officers to continue to operate effectively.
The Commission on Higher Education visited Region 12 or SOC-Sargen last June 13, 2026 to distribute UniFast tertiary education subsidies to students from various schools in Tahurong City, Coronadal City, and Polomolok, providing financial support for tuition, books, and daily living expenses beyond financial aid. The chairperson met with local HEI leaders to assess earthquake damages and ensure the continuity of learning in heavily affected areas. She also conducted an inspection of Mindanao State University General Santos, reaffirming CHED's commitment to coordinate and recovery to support and strengthen disaster resilience protocols. Philippines is being positioned among best countries to support Asia's rapidly growing electricity demand. This due to the country's abundant geothermal resources and expanding wind and solar energy sectors, offering strong potential for renewable energy development, according to the International Finance Corporation, or IFC. IFC Managing Director Maktar Diop called for faster development of renewable energy sources across Asia, stressing that the region has abundant clean energy resources but must improve connectivity, financing, and market frameworks to fully realize their potential. In the meantime, the announcement of a tentative deal or memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran to seek a permanent end to the war in the Middle East has sent prices of crude oil tumbling at the world market. But the memo is just a forward step from which negotiations to hopefully finalize a lasting peace agreement will be threshed out within 60 days. Still, even if a deal to totally end the war is reached, gas prices, which rise like a rocket and fall like a feather, could hit pre-war levels within half to an entire year, as our J.M. Thompson reports.
It is possible for fuel prices to return to previous levels now that the conflict between Iran and the U.S. is coming to an end. PUV drivers have not lost hope that oil prices in the country will continue to drop further, just like jeepney driver Rick Perez. He says the discounts they currently receive are already a big help. For every 20 liters of diesel they load daily, they are able to save around 200 pesos. What more if diesel prices drop again and return to the previous rate, which hovered between 50 to 60 pesos per liter?
Sa akin, sa palagay sa ganun, mas maganda sana mag-ayos sila dahil sa taas ng presyo ng produkto ng petrolyo natin, kailangan para bumaba kasi napipigilan tayo sa ng produkto ng petrolyo natin dito sa Pilipinas yung suporta ba.
The Department of Energy, or DOE, is also not losing hope that fuel prices will gradually return to their original prices. But DOE Undersecretary Sandy Sales emphasized, as of now, the price of gasoline has dropped by up to 32 centavos per liter, while diesel also saw a price rollback of over 5 pesos per liter, and kerosene has a price reduction of more than 2 pesos.
We hope that this continues, especially with the news from the progressing talks among the countries involved in the current Middle East war. So hopefully they can conclude on their agreements, and sana po ang bantayan po natin by Friday makikita na natin yung progress nila kung meron nga talagang final decision ang mga parties involved.
Meanwhile, the 10 peso discount for public utility vehicles continues in selected gas stations. Currently, the total assistance extended to drivers from the 10 peso discount has reached over 3 million pesos. Following this, the DOE is intensifying efforts regarding gas stations, offering discounts, which have now reached over 2,000 stations in various parts of the country. The Energy Department also assures that the country's fuel supply is sufficient, which currently stands to last 46 days based on their latest inventory. J.M. Thompson, for The Nation.
The Department of Agriculture, or DA, expects the long-awaited ceasefire in the Middle East to reduce pressure on production costs and support higher local rice output. According to DA Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr., the local agriculture sector welcomed the news after the United States and Iran announced plans to sign a peace deal to end the nearly 4-month conflict. The agreement is expected to lead the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping lane whose closure had pushed up fuel prices worldwide since late February. The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, revised its rules on the dissolution of corporate entities and cancellation of tax registration. The change introduces a fast-track system that can shorten processing time to as little as 3 working days for smaller businesses. The BIR said the new guidelines cover a wide range of taxpayers, including online freelancers, large corporations, and foreign entities operating in the Philippines. And coming up, world-class pole vaulter makes the country proud anew. We'll tell you why if you promise to still be here after the break. Don't go away.
The Cine Bata Video Festival is calling for submission of video entries for, by, and with children. Submit videos with the theme, Hear My Voice. Deadline for submission of entries is on July 31, 2026. For details, visit or contact the following.
Disaster Watch. Mga paalala habang lumilindol. Kapag lumilindol, mag-duck, cover, and hold. Maging mahinahon at humanap ng matibay na bagay na magsisilbing panangga sa posibleng pagbagsak ng debris. Magtago at protektahan ang sarili. Kumapit ng mahigpit at hintaying matapos ang pagyanig. Lumayo sa mga salamin at bintana. Kapag nasa labas ng tahanan o gusali, umiwas sa mga poste, puno at mga landslide-prone areas. Kung nasa sasakyan, huminto at tumabi sa isang ligtas na lugar. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo.
Is it a yes or a no? Are you anti or pro? Pagdating sa mga isyung panlipunan, stay woke or go broke?
Basta relevant, napapanahon at makabuluhan para sa kabataan.
Pag-usapan natin yan sa
Schoolmates, the country's longest-running youth forum and debate show on TV.
Join ka na sa masayang usapan every Thursday dito lang sa PTV.
Stay up to date on His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s actions and initiatives this week as he leads the country in nation building. PBBM at Work. PTV Consumer Watch. Bantay presyo sa gasolina. Tanong ng ordinaryong Pilipino, hahanapan ng tugon.
Hindi ako kailangan malakas sa iyo, pero nadadala ko yung aking hinaing. Are you ready to do this?
Serbisyo at pamahalaan, ipauunawa sa mga kababayan.
Well, I feel confident if I'm a worker na pag ako ay alumnus ng TESDA, hindi niyo ako pababayaan.
Mga isyong komplikado, lilinawin ng husto.
Is bakit sa atin itong Philippine Sea? Have you engaged in many of the needed, shall I say, restructuring of the armed forces to defend the territory of this republic, to defend the sovereignty of the Republic of the Philippines?
Pag-usapan natin with Oscar Orbos, dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
Health Watch, alertong pangkalusugan. Ang influenza o trangkaso ay nakahawang sakit sanhi ng influenza virus na nagdudulot ng impeksyon sa respiratory tract ng tao. Apektado nito ang ilong, lalamunan at baga. At naisasalin sa pamamagitan ng pagbahing, pag-ubo at simpleng pakikipag-usap sa taong may sakit. Ilan sa sintomas nito ang lagnat, sipon at ubo, pamamaga ng lalamunan, sakit ng ulo, panginginig, panghihina at pananakit ng katawan. Kapag nakaramdam ng trangkaso, takpan ang bibig at ilong kung babahing o uubo. Limitahan ang pakikisalamuha sa mga kasama sa bahay. Siguruhin na mayroong sapat na pahinga. uminom ng maraming tubig at kumain ng masusustansyang pagkain at kumonsulta sa inyong doktor o pinakamalapit na health center. Tandaan, importante ang personal hygiene at regular na pagbabakuna sa pag-iwas sa influenza. Sa panahon ng sakit, dapat laging listo.
Mula sa simula ng kanilang karera hanggang sa finish line ng bawat torneo. Pakinggan ang athletic journey at iba pang mahalagang updates mula mismo sa ating mga atleta. Sports Banter. Dito lang sa PTV Sports.
The Makabayan bloc, along with labor leaders and families of victims, have filed a House resolution seeking a formal investigation into the collapse of a 9-story building in Pampanga, as they demand accountability from private contractors for the incident that has claimed at least 30 lives. Sheila Natividad has the full report.
Nearly a month after the collapse of a 9-story building in Balibago, Angeles City, Pampanga, labor leaders and relatives of the victims joined forces with the Makabayan bloc, led by ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tino, to file a resolution before the House Committee on Labor and Employment. Their goal is to hold the private contractors of the collapsed building accountable, as the families of the victims claim they have yet to receive any assistance or communication from them.
Nananawagan ako sa may-ari, sa kontraktor, na sana naman siya magpakita sa amin, lalo sa mga pamilya ng biktima, at mabigyan ng hustisya yung mga biktima.
The death toll has risen to 30 after 2 more bodies were recently recovered from the site of the collapse. The Institute for Occupational Health and Safety Development said the Occupational Safety and Health Act should also be reviewed to better protect workers.
Buo po yung suporta ng Institute for Occupational Health and Safety Development sa resolusyon na final natin ngayong araw na ito. Ito rin po ay pagpapatunay na kinakailangan na talagang tumigil yung mga malalalang paglabag sa occupational health and safety, lalong-lalo na po yung nagdudulot ng kamatayan ng ating mga manggagawa.
Representative Tino maintained that the incident should not simply be forgotten, which is why they pushed for the filing of the resolution in the House of Representatives.
Kaya po tayo nag-file ng resolution na to, initial na hakbang. Ang layunin natin talaga ay hustisya para sa 30 manggagawa na namatay sa pagguho ng building sa Angeles at pagpapanagot sa private contractor.
As authorities continue to confirm the rising death toll from the collapsed building, so too are the dreams of its victims buried beneath the rubble. Through this resolution, workers and the families of the victims hope their story will not end in tragedy, but in justice. Sheila Natividad, for the Nation.
House Representative Antonio Tino expressed support for the proposal of House Lead Prosecutor Jervin Luistro to first ensure the installation of a duly elected Senate President before formally proceeding with the impeachment trial of Sara Duterte. According to Tino, changes in leadership within the Senate of the Philippines should not affect or delay the impeachment process. Luistro earlier stated that the prosecution team will recognize whoever is officially elected as Senate President, whether Senator Sherwin Gatchalian or any other senator assumes the position. In other news, the Philippines is leveraging its chairmanship of the Southeast Asian Ombudsman Forum to promote regional intelligence sharing and cooperation as it intensifies its crackdown on corruption, particularly the country's ongoing investigation into hundreds of anomalous flood control projects. Rod Lagusad lays out the details in this report.
This is expected to help in the ongoing investigation into flood control projects. This is one of the benefits of the Southeast Asian Ombudsman Forum or COF full members meeting where the Philippines is serving as chair. Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla shared with member countries that the Philippines is currently grappling with corruption issues involving flood control projects. According to Remulla, as of 2026, a total of 209 complaints related to flood control projects are currently under fact-finding investigation. He added that several cases have already advanced to formal proceedings, while 4 have been filed before the courts. This include the cases of Senator Jinggoy Estrada, former Senator Bong Revilla, and spouses Sara and Curly Discaya. Meanwhile, a case was filed in 2025 against former Ako Bicol Representative Saldico. Last year, 124 complaints underwent fact-finding investigation while 36 progressed to preliminary investigation or administrative adjudication.
But beyond these numbers is a deeper responsibility to strengthen public trust and demonstrate that accountability institutions can respond with independence, fairness, professionalism, and resolve. This moment reminds us of why regional platforms such as COF would matter.
Among those who attended the forum were representatives from the Ombudsman of Indonesia, Thailand, and Timor-Leste. Also in attendance was the associate member of the Office of the Sarawak Ombudsman of Malaysia, while the Office of the Ombudsman Punjab of Pakistan and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime were also invited to the gathering.
What is so important because we have different techniques in investigation. Like the Philippines has its own way of investigating, Thailand has its own way, Indonesia. So it's a matter of sharing techniques on how to properly conduct an investigation, how to gather data, and strengthen cases.
He said this also includes intelligence gathering among member countries. Remulla wasn't able to attend the forum as he is currently in the United States for the 7th Global Conference on Sustainable Development Goal 16 at the United Nations headquarters in New York, following an invitation from the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, the International Development Law Organization, and the Permanent Mission of Italy to the United Nations. Afterward, traveled to Washington, D.C. parts and partners to further strengthen international cooperation, institutional development, and the fight against corruption. Finally, the Office of the Ombudsman emphasized the importance of evidence in the conduct of investigations.
If there are evidence that may be shared by the member countries, why not? If there will be, hypothetically, if there will be assets that will be uncovered during the intelligence gathering and information sharing, that could be very useful.
The Office of the Ombudsman explained that establishing stronger relationships among member countries can help speed up cooperation, particularly when evidence or assistance is needed in connection with issues such as the flood control project's investigation. Rod Lagusad for The Nation.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, has not ruled out the possibility the ongoing marine scientific research conducted by China in Scarborough Shoal may be serving military purposes. This comes amid the continued presence of a movable floating platform in the area, along with 2 Chinese research vessels. However, the AFP said the activity could also be for environmental or economic purposes, which is why government agencies are continuing their monitoring. A whole-of-government approach is being implemented to address developments related to the floating platform and to prevent any new reclamation activities in the West Philippine Sea.
The collaboration between experts and the government has begun for the Oplan Kontra Baha or flood control project across various cities in the country. The University of the Philippines NOAA Center will work with the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH to review the design of structures before these are built. According to Dr. Mahar Lagmay, it is important to have a comprehensive and scientific basis for flood mitigation projects so that government investments are not wasted.
With the onset of the monsoon season, several parts of the country have already experienced heavy rainfall that has caused a number of road accidents. According to the Land Transportation Office, or LTO, road accident cases increase when the rainy season begins. The agency has therefore reminded motorists to exercise extra caution. Meanwhile, more than 400 driver's licenses have been revoked, while over 300 have been suspended based on the latest LTO records. Due to the series of accidents caused by reckless behavior on the roads, the LTO will further strengthen its strict monitoring and reminders for all road users.
More top stories coming your way. Don't go anywhere.
Nagsimula sa maliit na pangarap.
Ngayon ay unti-unti nang natutupad. Sa tulong ng ASEAN, higit na napalago ang aking negosyo.
Mas malayo na ang narating ng mga produkto ko.
May online pre-training at programs pa para sa kagaya kong entrepreneur.
Dahil sa ASEAN, ang local pwedeng maging global.
ASEAN continues to grow and support businesses across the region through easier export processes, free training opportunities, and access to markets in member countries. Dahil sa ASEAN, negosyong Pilipino ay natutulungang lumago. Abangan sa Larigadon Live. Alamin ang mandato ng Department of Health at ang mga tugon nito sa may init na issue sa bansa. Kasama si Secretary Ted Herbosa. Larigadon Live. Ngayong Biyernes, alas 8 ng gabi. Dito lang sa inyong PTV.
GADWatch, Anti-Rape Law.
Yung Republic Act 8353 or yung Anti-Rape Law, ito naman ay nag-e-expand dun sa law natin sa Revised Penal Code na kung saan during that time, ang rape ay isang crime against chastity. In-expand niya ito para ito ay maging isang public crime at saka crime against persons na include na dun yung ibang forms of rape. So hindi lang yung actual na sexual intercourse ang nakakategorize as rape. Let's say for example, meron po tayo tinatawag na object rape or yung ginagamitan ng mga ibang mga instruments. And those, of course, are considered as sexual crimes kasi nga naapektuhan pa rin yung victim. Our data on rape for 2024 ay nagkaroon tayo ng 7,751 cases. You need to report immediately kung may nangyari na ganito, whether you are the actual victim or you are or a witness to the incident. Pwede naman po silang pumunta even without, say for example, securing medical certificates. That will be done as soon as may reporting case. We have our 24/7 line sa Facebook page namin, or they can already go directly po sa pinakamalapit, may area of jurisdiction sa kanila sa police station.
GADWatch,
Roadwatch, mga dapat tandaan tungkol sa No Contact Apprehension Policy ng MMDA. Para maayos ang daloy ng trapiko at bawasan ang contact sa pagitan ng mga motorista at enforcer, muling ipinatutupad ang NCAP o No Contact Apprehension Policy sa mga pangunahing kalsada sa Metro Manila. Ang NCAP ay isang programa ng MMDA kung saan hinuhuli ang mga lumalabag sa batas trapiko gamit ang mga high-definition CCTV camera, digital camera, at iba pang gadget tulad ng speed gun at handheld video camera. Kapag may na-record na violation, ito ay i-review at i-validate at i-verify ang vehicle record sa LTO Information Query Facility. Ipapasok ang vehicle record sa NCAP system at mag-i-issue ng Notice of Violation. Ang Notice of Violation ay ipadadala sa rehistradong tirahan ng motorista sa pamamagitan ng postal mail. Ang multa ay maaaring bayaran online sa Land Bank Link Biz Portal o magsadya sa head office ng MMDA. Maaari ring iprotesta ang Notice of Violation sa online filing platform ng MMDA Traffic Adjudication Division gamit ang QR code o link. Kapag gustong i-check kung may violation ka, bisitahin lamang at mmda.gov.ph. Roadwatch, hatid ng inyong PTV.
Personnel from the Baguio City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office have been honored for assisting recovery operations after the collapse of an under-construction city. The team was deployed on May 27 days, helping recover remains from the site. Officials said the mission strengthened coordinating and enhanced disaster readiness. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin said the city remains ready to assist affected areas,
including Rosso, shaking parts of Mindanao. Institute of Seismology, quake was tectonic in origin, with a depth of about 86 kilometers from the Philippine Trench. Authorities clarified that the event is not related to the earlier magnitude 7.8 earthquake in Sarangani and is not considered an aftershock. PHIVOLS confirmed there were no major damages or tsunami threats, but reminded the public to remain alert for possible aftershocks.
Udyao Elementary School in Abra continues to face challenges due to long travel distances and weak internet connectivity. Despite these difficulties, the school expressed gratitude for being among the beneficiaries of the Starbucks package from the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST. Starbucks, or the Science and Technology Academic and Research-based openly operated kiosk station, is a digital library that provides access to thousands of STEM resources even without internet connection. The DOST said the program aims to support last-mile schools in geographically disadvantaged areas to bridge the digital divide and improve access to learning materials across the region. We'll now give you the latest buzz here at Pop Culture Corner. First up, rock band Silent Sanctuary has announced a major concert titled Gabi ng Lambing in celebration of its 24th anniversary. The show will be held on October 25 at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. The band will be joined by the Manila Symphony Orchestra and the vocal ensemble Viva Voce for a special orchestral performance. Tickets will go on sale beginning June 25. The concert will be directed by Paolo Valenciano, with Ria Osorio serving as musical director. Formed in 2002, Silent Sanctuary is known for its rockestra style that blends alternative rock with classic instruments such as the violin and cello. Next up, Filipino singer Matty Hunyosa has announced his first ever live concert in Glasgow following his appearance on Britain's Got Talent. The show is scheduled for September 27 at the Glasgow Pavilion Theatre, where he is currently based. Hunyosa, who gained international attention after receiving 2 Golden Buzzers on the talent competition and finishing 4th overall, says he is excited to return to the stage for his first post-show performance. He also expressed plans for more concerts in the future as he continues building his career in the United Kingdom. The event marks a new milestone in his transition from television contestant to live touring artist. Meantime, South Korean alternative pop rock band The Rose is set to perform in Manila as part of its Rosetopia Asia Tour 2026 on August 15 at the SM Mall of Asia Arena. The concert is being described as a meaningful stop for Filipino Black Roses as the group prepares for an indefinite hiatus following their upcoming album release. The band is composed of Woo Sung, Do Jun, Ha Jun, and Tae Gyun, who have marked nearly a decade of music together since their debut. Promoter L Squared Productions said the show will serve as a celebration of the band's journey, with tickets up for sale on June 30th.
Filipino pole vaulter EJ Obiena once again represented the country on the international stage at the Flight Circus Dusseldorf 2026 in Germany. Competing in his outdoor season debut, the world number 11 Filipino star cleared 5.74 meters to secure the silver medal in the tournament. Obiena finished second behind 2020 Tokyo Olympic silver medalist Chris Nielsen of the United States, who topped the competition with a clearance of 5.83 meters. Qatar Sifaldin Abdel Salam completed the podium after taking the bronze medal with a mark of 5.65 meters. The event marked Vienna's first competition since his appearance at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in March. The Filipino pole vault star is set to return to action at the World Athletics Diamond League in Qatar on June 19th. Former UAAP Finals MVP and two-time UAAP champion Mike Phillips is set to join Gilas Pilipinas in the coming days as part of the national team's preparations for the upcoming FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. According to Gilas head coach Tim Cohn, Phillips will first take part in training sessions at FEU Diliman to familiarize himself with the team's system before formally joining the national pool. Assistant coach Sean Chambers will also help introduce Phillips to the strategies and playing style of the national team. Phillips expressed his gratitude and enthusiasm for the opportunity to represent the country on the international stage. The former De La Salle University standout is currently playing for the San Juan Knights in the MPBL, where he continues to gain valuable experience in a highly physical level of competition. Meanwhile, Gilas Pilipinas is scheduled to face New Zealand on July 3 and Australia on July 6 in its next assignments in the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers. Phillips is expected to provide additional depth to the Gilas rotation, especially with several key players unavailable due to injuries and other commitments.
The easterlies continue to affect the eastern sections of Visayas and Mindanao. Eastern Visayas, the Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur, and Davao Oriental may experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, while Metro Manila and the rest of the country may expect the same weather condition. And our food for thought tonight comes from Bruce Lee, martial artist, actor, and philosopher who revolutionized martial arts cinema and inspired millions through his teachings on discipline, self-mastery, and personal growth. And he once said, "Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them." I think humility goes a long way because a humble spirit is always welcome. What do you think, Jay?
I think it's very important as well that we come from a posture of humility, that when we are humble enough to accept our mistakes, then that's where growth really starts.
And before we end our newscast, please do take the time to like, subscribe, or share PTV's social media pages flashing on your screen right now. It would go a long way and we would truly appreciate it. And so goes PTV News Tonight's roundup of tomorrow's headline stories. I'm Sharms Espina.
I'm Jay Esteban. Join us again tomorrow on PTV News Tonight.